When a man breaks up with a woman or lost interest while they were dating, then disappears, ignores her, but then weeks or months later he's back like a boomerang, sometimes pretending nothing happened. I wasn't ignoring you. I'm just not a man of many words. Don't women like the strong, silent type? Or even better, I know I left. I know I was ignoring you, but I just realized how important you are to me. I want you back. I regret losing you. I wish I would have seen that earlier. Yeah, that's what the captain of the Titanic said as well after hitting the iceberg. He probably wished he saw that one earlier too. It's too late. The damage is done. And this happens often. Men finally seeing how much they like a certain woman, especially right around the moment where that woman decides to finally move on. Then some men suddenly see the light. They get an epiphany. They realize how important she is to them. They want her back. And sometimes they will even claim they will do anything to get her back. Finally, the love story can continue, or can it? Because in general, this should raise her alarm level just as much as when someone knocks on her door at 4 a.m. So at least a little bit, if she didn't just order a pizza in the middle of the night. Why do men come back after losing interest first? What are they thinking when they do this? Do they really regret losing her then? Now, some women do this to men as well, of course, and the first questions we should always ask ourselves when a love interest does a 180 are, should we believe what they are telling us? What are their true intentions? And why should we care? That's the most important question. So let's talk about it. My name is Geert. I'm an author. I also use the pen name Brian Knox. And here's the thing. If someone doesn't see our value when we are present, when we are dating them or when we have a relationship together, it really doesn't matter how valuable they suddenly think we are when we are absent. And sure, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and we should give each other space, of course. But if someone doesn't see our value when we are present, it doesn't matter how great they suddenly think we are when we are absent. Because also, when someone comes back, they're not doing that for us, of course. They're doing it for themselves. Perhaps they suddenly feel lonely. Perhaps they regret they left us. Sometimes because now they have nobody they can treat badly. And yes, that's a thing for some people. Or they just want to get physical. Or the grass wasn't greener on the other side after all, and so on. Now, it's also important to know that sometimes when a man comes back, it is indeed because he regrets his decision to break up with the woman he broke up with. But that's not always a good thing. It doesn't mean he's suddenly going to treat her right if he didn't treat her right before. And sure, he might put in efforts for a day or a week or two if she's lucky, but he will usually go back to his old patterns. It doesn't really matter whether a man regrets losing you or not, of course. What truly matters is how he treated you before. And one of the bad reasons why a man may regret losing you and may come back is a bit controversial, but it's the following. When a man is in a relationship with a woman, that may give him the confidence that he can easily get a girlfriend or sleep with a woman. So because his current girlfriend may adore him, may put him on a pedestal, may think he's all that, he may start believing it too, of course. So he then gets confident and perhaps a bit cocky and says, great, now I can climb the ladder. A lot of women probably want me. So he breaks up with her, goes out into the dating pool, where the other fish in the sea are, but perhaps nobody bites. Or the women he hoped would bite swim away or torpedo him. What a reality check. Again, that's why I said if someone doesn't see our value when they are with us, it really doesn't matter they suddenly see it after the breakup. It's too late. They are back for the wrong reasons. They want something or someone else but just couldn't find it. That's why they are back. And I'll give good reasons why a man may regret losing you and may come back in a minute, but let's stick with the bad ones first because they are really important. Here's another one. Some people will be looking for things in life that they cannot find. So they are always drifting. They cannot stay in the same spot for long. They always want new things, different things. And they won't just do that in their romantic relationships, but probably everywhere in their life. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that can be a bit hard for relationships. So in this case, a guy is single and decides he's ready to mingle. He finds a girlfriend, he enjoys the girlfriend experience for a while, but then he starts to miss the freedom he had when he was single. So obviously he just follows his emotions without thinking, breaks up with his girlfriend, is single, and then figures out that being able to decide what movie you are going to watch without having to ask the opinion of someone else, being able to meet up with whomever he wants, whenever he wants, isn't as great as he thought it would be. So he's now single, but ready to mingle again. And at first he will probably try to test some new ventures, to date new women he never dated before, but if that is unsuccessful, or if the new girl breaks his heart or doesn't give him the attention or validation he needed, guess who will get a "so, how have you been text message. Right, the girl who shouldn't take him back. Now this last thing can happen often with drifters, people that always need something different, something new. The new girl then breaks their heart or isn't adoring them like they hoped she would, and then they go back to where it's safe, and that's usually an ex. One more bad reason and then I'll give you a good one. The biggest reason why men come back or seem interested again, especially when you decide to finally move on, is scarcity. At that moment, you are no longer available, and that makes him believe that your value goes up. And as I explained in other videos, that's truly how the human mind works, for women and men. When something becomes hard to get, we may want it more just because it's no longer available. Now, if you then add his male ego on top of that scarcity, then you create fireworks. But the bad kind. Be aware of this. If someone comes back right at the moment where we move on, they probably shouldn't deserve another chance. They have had their chance. Now here's a good reason why a man may come back. In this case, he was respectful, he treated his girlfriend well, but he wasn't ready for anything serious. So they break up. And then after many months of working on himself, of dealing with issues he clearly still had to deal with, he says he's finally ready for the next step. Now if this happens, then this probably will not be ego-driven then. But it's still risky, of course. It's always better to start a relationship with someone who was ready for us from the start or who didn't have to change their mind in the first place. Here's a bit of a controversial reason why a man may regret losing a woman and may come back, sometimes even years later, because what also happens is that some men that broke up with a woman will have different girlfriends after her, will mature mentally as well. So the years go by, and then years later they finally realize that the right woman for them might have been one they left many years before. And that's often because with their maturity, they start valuing different things. When they were in their 20s and 30s, chemistry and looks were always on the top of their list. In their 40s, they finally realized that personality and compatibility and having the same goals in life are so much more important. And in some cases, they may then reach out to a girlfriend they had many years before. Here's a tricky reason why men may come back after leaving a woman first. They have the wrong memory of the relationship. After a breakup, some people will only remember the bad things that happened in that relationship, but other people start to focus on all the good things and only the good things. So men may think about the romantic moments or how fun it was to work out together, especially inside the bedroom, or great vacations they had together, but they totally forget about everything that led to the breakup. So they come back and want to give it another try, which in this case may not be a good idea, of course, because the things that led to the breakup will usually still be present. Now there is an exception. Sometimes we meet the right person at the wrong time. And then if the time truly becomes right in the future, it may be a good idea to give it another try. Now, if you are on the receiving end of a man that suddenly decides he wants you back, what should you look out for? Well, first of all of the bad reasons I just gave, but second, try to take your time. You will need to know what his motives are and what his true intentions are, and therefore you need time. Is he back because he's lonely? Is he back because he misses the bedroom activities? Has he truly changed? Here's the thing. If he's back for the wrong reasons, then he will usually give up quickly. So let's say you have a date with him and he wants the chill part of Netflix and chill, but you say, no, I really just want to watch Netflix. How long does he stick around? And not just that evening, but in general. Remember, he's on probation. He doesn't get the full package. And all of this is not to make him work hard for it. It's just to let time pass. Because if he's serious, he will still be there a couple of weeks later. That's an important rule in general. When a man isn't serious about a woman, his words may not reveal his true intentions because he may be manipulating her, but his actions will. And even those may not immediately reveal his true intentions, but if you add time into the mix, then they will. When someone comes back, we cannot just pick up where we left off. This is a new chapter. We will have to go slow and give it time and try to be as rational as possible. Does it make sense to get back together rationally? Have we both changed? Are the reasons of the first loss of interest or the breakup still relevant? Are they still present, or have we both grown enough for them to no longer matter? Those are really important questions, and time will help you to answer them. And there you go. I hope you found value in this video. As always, there is more in my books on Amazon or on my website, brianknox.com. I want to thank you for sticking around until the very end of this video. I always say that, but that's because I really love it when you do that, and I hope to see you in another video.